Hi everyone and welcome to the Patio cooking show with me, your host, Ronny. We're recording from the Duke restaurant in Santa Catalina, Palma de Mallorca, Spain. It's midsummer and I am preparing with you and for you an incredible summer soup. The core message of this show is to inspire and encourage you to cook more at home. So, purpose, autonomy, simplicity, and mastery are the keys here. Today I will prepare with you and for you a variation of a classic Spanish cold soup called gazpacho. Now the gazpacho, by the way, fitting perfect in this high heat today, is a staple in Spanish cuisine. Traditionally it's made with peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, olive oil, and a dash of sherry vinegar. The choice of this dish came into my mind for the show because it is nutritious, it is delicious, super easy to make, and very versatile in its use. I can have it as a smoothie, which I actually had this morning. I can serve it as a soup, which we will do both variations later on. And it's a great in-betweener. I call this gazpacho a beetroot, green apple, ginger, and blueberry gazpacho. Now, characteristic for this gazpacho is sherry vinegar. So we're gonna put that in at the end. Now, let's get started. For that we need, as mentioned before, the key ingredients: beetroot, green apple, and ginger. These are our flavor carriers. Then we have supportive ingredients, which are cucumbers, oranges, lemons, grapes, blueberries, chia seeds for texture and protein boost, and a couple of dates. Very important for any gazpacho, whether it's a traditional one, this version, or any other version, is always a good dash of sherry vinegar. That is a really characteristic of the soup. So let's get started with our beetroot, green apple, and ginger gazpacho. For that we need cucumbers, grapes, oranges, lemons, blueberries, chia seeds for protein boost and texture, dates, and of course beetroot, green apples, and ginger. You'll find the recipe in the show notes that Cecilia thankfully will put up. Yeah, we're actually ready to go. We need for this dish only 5 kitchen utensils. So I'm very conscious about that, how many things I use to prepare this dish, because again, the core message of this show is to encourage and inspire you to cook more at home. And as many of you know, one of the reasons that hold us back from cooking more at home, among others, is the effort. So I consider that a pretty low effort dish. We need a cutting board, we need a peeler, we need a knife, we need a mixer, and we need a lemon or orange press, which I have right here. So no cooking is required, no oven is required, no heat is required. Just those ingredients and a cutting board. I will start by peeling my cucumber. As I already mentioned in my previous shows, I have a habit of cleaning up after each working step my entire station. That way I prevent the hoarding of leftovers. Stressful cutting boards. So I want my cutting board to be clean and with as few little things as possible on it. So this is peeled, this goes back in its place, and I quickly pick up after myself by throwing away everything that has to do with cucumber that you don't have to actually clean up afterwards because you already cleaned up in the process. Apple the same. I'm using Granny Smith apples for this. You can use any other apple as well. I love those because they're nice and acidy, so they give it a nice, tangy, acidic character. Okay, number 1 and number 2. I'm a professional chef, so you may find that I do certain cooking preparations very quick. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so don't be impressed by that. Do it on your own pace, at your own pace. There's no rush. Again, apples are peeled. So next comes the ginger right here. I use the peeler as well for this. You could also use a spoon. Ginger does not require to be peeled by a sharp tool. So again, you could use a spoon. This mimics a spoon now, and you just can get rid of the peel just as well. If you're not comfortable with a sharp utensil, you can use that as well. One of my favorite ingredients, I use it a lot in dressings, I use it a lot in ceviches, in soups, in smoothies. It just gives that really fresh and sharp and piquant taste to the dishes. Again, and we're pretty much done with the peeling part of it. So that's about 1.5 minutes. Now we're going to squeeze out those puppies, oranges from the island, from Mallorca, which is rich in citric fruits. So that is 1 and 2. A great substitute also are grapefruits. Will turn out a bit more bitter, but it goes really well with it. And now I'm squeezing in also my lemon. Okay, here I have my lemon and orange juice. Putting it already here in a small bowl. Next up is actually processing all those ingredients in my mixer. So you can use a conventional regular home mixer. I have here a more powerful machine because I own the restaurant, so I need a strong machine, but again, have no fear. An ordinary domestic mixer will do just as fine. And I will start now loading it. Use my beetroots. I cut them in little pieces. This is boiled beetroot, by the way. I bought it boiled. You can buy it in packs, or you can boil it yourself, as you wish. So cut it in small pieces. Goes in. Okay, so this is the first ingredient. Second ingredient, my apples. I cut them in quarters. Right, and then I am cutting out the seeds. As you can see, I'm quite skilled. If you are not too sure about doing that with a sharp knife, you can put it also on the side like that. Put your hand on top and just cut it out this way. Okay, I do it again. If you don't want to do this movement because you are afraid to cut yourself, you place the apple down, make sure it doesn't move, and you just cut with your knife down here, seed gone. Surely there are other ways to de-seed an apple, but that is probably the most efficient one. We cut the apple in little pieces, goes in as well. I always keep one piece of apple on the side, and you'll see later on why. Okay, small pieces in. Okay, now here we have our grapes. They go in just the way they are. They're washed, they're organic. Of course, if you don't get hold on organic grapes, use regular ones. Just make sure you wash them really well. Yeah, we leave a few out again, and you'll see later on why I don't put all of them in. The ginger. In order to help the mixer, I cut the ginger already in small pieces. Ginger has a lot of fiber, so for many mixers, it's quite a tough one to process. So I'm going to put those in as well. The cucumber. The cucumber is quite important because it is pretty much 90% water. So we need the cucumber to bring in water into the gazpacho. The apple and the beetroot itself, they're quite fibrous vegetables, so they don't give much water. So we put in the cucumber to help that process. Again, I'll leave a little bit of cucumber on the side. Later on you'll see why. In. Okay, put that on the side. Now I'm adding my juice. I'm adding my blueberries. Again, the recipe, you can find it in the show notes. I'm adding a couple of chia seeds, like that. And yeah, we are ready to go. We're ready to blitz it. I'm also adding a dash of water here, just to give that mixing process a little lift. Okay, and now let's blitz it. Now I'm going to serve it two ways. One as a soup and another as a drink. So here we just blended up our ingredients into a smooth soup. Our red gazpacho. Has a good texture. You can tell a good texture by looking at the back of your spoon, you see? If the soup sticks in the back of your spoon and doesn't run down, then you have a pretty good texture. Not too watery, not too thick. Perfect. Good, so I'm gonna pour it here, pretending that this is going to be a soup, cold soup. What I always do is, knowing that I'm gonna serve it, I put my soup cups already in the fridge or in the freezer, so they're nice and cold. And here I'm gonna show you a variation how to serve it as a drink. It's a wonderful smoothie. Too. Now you'll see why I kept some of the fruits and vegetables whole. I kept the apple whole, so I have actually a topping for my soup. And I can use that as a topping for my gazpacho. Gives it a nice fresh crunch. Same with the grapes. I always leave the seeds in my grapes. They're good for the stomach. They're nutritious. And if you don't mind them, just leave them on. They're not gonna kill you. Blueberries right here. So these two, we're just gonna cut them a little bit in half. You don't have to cut them in half. I like to cut them in half. Okay, add the blueberries on top. And a little bit of cucumber as well. You can leave the seeds on in the cucumber. It does not make a difference. Not in this dish. Okay, so here we have a yummy, super rich, healthy. Okay, some chia seeds on top for added protein, and optionally you can add a few nuts on it, almonds, hazelnuts, whatever you feel like putting on top, just to give it a nice nutritious crunch. Dates, I love dates. I put them on my salads and on my soups anywhere, anytime I can. I'm gonna add those as well on top, just like that, without any fuss, without any plan, just wildly, beautifully arranging it on top. Okay, here we go. A few mint leaves just to give it a little aesthetic. And in no time you have a beautiful, colorful, super healthy, incredible summer soup that you can do over and over and over again. You can add some olive oil on top to give it a bit of shine, a dash of sea salt, and this is your soup. Let's go into the drink department. Far simpler. 2 straws, one for you, one for you. How about a little blueberry as a decoration? They can be placed right here. Go crazy, be wild here. Anything goes. Use a little mint leaf here again to pep it up a bit. Aesthetics are important, not as important as how this dish will make you feel. And here we are, done. Smoothie, gazpacho, killer flavor, amazing for your body, super fresh, nice and cold, perfect for the summer. Your kids will love it, your husband will love it, your wife will love it, your mother will love it, your neighbor will love it, and your tax advisor will love it too. So, great way to make friends. If you find this show meaningful, please subscribe. Drop me a line also if you find something that I could do maybe better. Maybe use a different apron or different t-shirt, you know, different background, stuff like that. Yeah, anyway, there's more coming up. Now, seriously, if you find meaning into the show, subscribe, please. It would be a great favor. So, yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye from Palma de Mallorca, Duke Restaurant. Woo!